Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to today's live English lesson here on the AM Language YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. It is a Monday afternoon. So what can you expect on the AM Language YouTube channel this week? First of all, make sure you subscribe. We are getting closer and closer to the 750 marks, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. So today we're looking at our educational systems, present and future. In this, we're going to look also at time markers, using time markers accurately. Tuesday, we're going to look at the nuclear family and society. And in this, we'll look at the zero and first conditionals. On Wednesday, we're going to look at friendships, similarities, and differences. And Thursday, we are going to look at language tips for the week. And Friday, music English article challenge. So those are the lessons that you can expect on this week's AM Language YouTube channel. And make sure you keep a lookout for this week's video. Leandina, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining. Hope you had a good weekend, and buono pomeriggio. Hope you're doing well. We'll wait for some more people to join. But yeah, educational systems and time markers, present and future. It's important to know to make sure that we use these time markers correctly in English. It's easy to get them wrong. Having said that, the topic in question today, educational systems, past, present and future, makes for an interesting one. It's an interesting topic at the moment. A lot of things are changing in the educational world, especially because of COVID, and therefore we can sort of talk about what we think the situation is at the moment and what it will be like in the future. Irina F says, hello, Richard. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Irina F. Welcome to today's lesson. Thank you for joining. I hope you're doing well. Yes, privyet. Yes, privyet. Good afternoon indeed. So let's start off with while we're waiting for more people to join. Obviously, at the moment, Malta is still very much in its lockdown mode. So there aren't a lot of opportunities to do very much at the moment in Malta. Having said that, the weather is getting better, so that's a positive. And things are improving on the COVID front. I think we can expect potentially some changes to happen soon in Malta. I think, to be honest, in Malta, because of the success rate they've had so far, in terms of getting a lot of people vaccinated and the numbers of COVID and the number of COVID cases falling, I think one can expect to have not a normal summer, but not a bad summer at the same time. I think Malta will be a decent place to be over the summer. And if with that come, I think there might be some opportunities come the summer. So what I would say is, if you are thinking of learning English and you would also like a little bit of a break from your country, Malta could be a very good place to go for this summer. Not just to learn English, but also just to be in. So let's get cracking. We're looking at the educational systems of today, and what we're going to look at is here are some time markers. So I'm going to start off with some questions. We can make sure that we can answer them. So, sorry. Actually, let's change this question slightly. Okay, so we're just going to start off with this question. Does our educational system teach people how to think or how to do in today's world? So that's my opening question. And feel free to come in with your own thoughts on this. Um, there's lots of things to talk about this. Now, you can feel free to pick the category that you are feel most comfortable with. But the reason why I ask is to do with it's because of the exam idea. Do you think exams are a good way to test people's knowledge? So let me know about your knowledge. I misspelt knowledge. 1 second. There we go. Let me know. These are my two opening questions. So you guys can come in with your personal opinions. Does our educational system teach people how to think or how to do in today's world? Do you think exams are a good way to test people's knowledge? That's what it should say. So actually, let me just delete both of those things because do you think exams are a good way to test people's knowledge? Okay, so I'm just going to post that again. What am I getting wrong here? There we go. Okay, so these are my two opening questions. Please come in with your own personal ideas. And then from there, we'll build in terms of the time markers. One of the things I would say is I think I myself have some mixed feelings on this, especially the exam thing. I've never always been completely convinced by the exam process at different levels. To help you guys along, we'll also add in some other things over here, some statements, and we'll include some time markers. So, for example, let's start off with I'm going to fit in one thing over here as well. It's not technically present or future, but it's one that I want to make sure everybody gets right. Okay, B. Uh, let's see what you guys choose to fill in over here. C. Let's see what you guys naturally go with in order to complete A, B, and C. The ending says, generally speaking, I think our education our educational system is more notional than practical. Notional? Oh, I see what you mean. So by notional, you mean more of a theory than practice, than more. uh, There you would go with more. Okay, if you go with more x than y. It's important that you go with than rather than then over there, Leondina. Um, okay, so you're saying there that if it's more notional, then it's more theory than something practical. I mean, I have some strong views about certain subjects. I think mathematics is a particular one which I would have question marks over. Um, I can think of a few things actually with that. We could probably say, Irina says, examinations are at times good and necessary ways of testing students' ability to commit information to memory, to work under pressure, and to find out what they know. Yeah, I suppose that's one advantage. I suppose it depends what you are testing for, which is why mathematics makes sense. If it's a thinking subject like a humanitarian subject, the humanities, then like philosophy, for example, there's no point having that as a test. That's more to do with writing and thinking. But if it's mathematics, then yes, tests make a little bit more sense. Engineering, possibly, that makes a bit more sense as well. I think, but yes, generally speaking, okay, more theory than practice than something being practical. Well, I would say an example of that would be mathematics. So we could say, for example, okay, so let's see. This is going to be D. Let's see what you go with over here. We give you some options. Um, so let me know about these. Okay, so you've got A, B, C, and D. Let me know what you think the answers are to complete these sentences. In this one here, D. Um, I think mathematics is one prime example that probably needs to be updated. Um, I remember when I was at school, you would be taught lots of things that you didn't need in the future. Now, learning certain things like algebra and Pythagoras's theory, okay, interesting, but do you need it in the real world? And I think that's the main thing that Leondine is asking. Is do we need to know certain things that are just theory and will remain theory or in our lives, or do we need to focus on practicality? Mathematics is an interesting one because in maths you learn a lot of things that you don't need later in life. You learn some things that you do, but the majority of it you don't. But you don't tend to learn it in relation to what you do need to know and how you're going to apply it. Some people think that it would be better for maths to be taught according to the way money works and banking and mortgages and loans. I can see the argument for that. the question is, what do you guys think? Do you think maths should be taught according to earning money, banking, mortgages, loans? Do you think that's the way mathematics should be taught? Again, we can also apply it to other subjects such as, well, English. Do we need to learn about what people wrote? Do we need, I mean, some people like to ask, in England, do we still need to learn about Shakespeare? I would argue yes, because it's a part of our culture. But do we need to? On a practical level, well, if the answer is always practical, then maybe not. I suppose there lies another question. E, actually. Okay, so you've now got E over there. Let me know what you think the answers are in terms of future time markers. So you've got over here, do you think education in something to come will be all about practicality? So do you think education in the future to come will be almost, or do you think education in the years to come will be all about practicality? Let me know what your answers are, as well as what you think the correct answers are, in order to complete these sentences as well. I think the danger with practicality is that not everything you learn that is useful or that you need to know is necessarily practical. You don't need to know it on a day-to-day basis. It's not just about function. And I think that's the problem with practicality. Sometimes it focuses a lot on function, but doesn't necessarily give you an all-round understanding. Leondina says, from B, okay, so from this year, okay, so from this year, blended lessons will be possible. C, next year, blended lessons will be possible. D, from next year. Okay. Do you think that from next year we might see mathematics taught? Okay. And finally, E, you've gone with year, well, years. If you agree with Lee and Dina, let me know in the live comment, in the live chat section. Don't forget, guys, the live chat section, if you're on a computer, happens on the right-hand side. If, on the other hand, you're on your phone or or a tablet, it will be underneath the actual video. So make sure you follow the lesson there. So yeah, this is we've got some questions here. Leondina has given her answers. We'll see what you guys come in with, and if you agree with, sorry, and if you agree with Leondina, let me know. Let me know what you think. So Arena F says that she agrees with Leondina. Okay, well, let's go through and we'll see. But we do need to also answer A. So A answers. Let's go through this. Answers A. Yeah, okay, now this is actually a past one, but at the time, yeah, we're not going to say in the moment. When we're talking about a past time, normally there are some occasions where we might do, but generally speaking, no. When you're talking about a past time, you need to go with at the time. That's the correct time marker. Then we've got B from. Now you've got a few options here. B, there was more than one way of ending this, but you could say from next plus from next year, from next month, from next week. Um, those are your options. You could also go with one or two others, but typically speaking, from next. And then from next year, for example, or from next week, month, from next week. Those answers make sense. C. You've gone from, oh yeah, from this year as well. Yes, you could do that. That would be fine. But in terms of C, next year, same sort of thing. So from, you've got a few others over here. Like you could say from tomorrow, for example, that would make sense. Tomorrow from, let me just do this. So from tomorrow, from next week, and so on. That doesn't really change. Um, Actually, though, on the subject of blended learning is a combination of physical lessons and online lessons. And this is something that AM language is, well, we've been working on making sure that we are in a position to deliver blended learning when required. And then we've got D from next year, says Leondina. Let's see. Do you think educational in. No, sorry. Do you think that from we might see mathematics? Okay, so do you think that um, we've gone with from quite a lot? And it's not wrong to say from next year in that context. Other possibilities? Future? Do you think that? Okay, here you've got quite a few options. Let me just show you what some of your options are. Okay, from next year, yes, that works, of course. In the future, that works. But another one that I would encourage you to use is by 2025. By the end of the summer, by the end of summer, by Christmas, by next year. You can use by, but if you use by, you mean it's not a general thing in the future. You're saying when we get to this point, this should have been done, sort of thing. So it's a bit stronger, but we can go for by. And finally, E, do you think educational systems in years to come? In the years to come, will be all about practicality. Yeah, in the years to come, meaning in the future, in the following years. So these are very good and useful time markers over here. Nothing too, nothing, generally speaking, nothing too difficult. But what I am going to ask you is which of these sentences are wrong? B. C. Alida, good afternoon. Welcome to today's lesson and thank you for joining. Buenos dias. We're just talking about time markers and we're talking about the educational system. Let's see here. Which sentences are wrong? So there are some examples, A to E. Let me know which ones you think are correct and which ones are wrong. Well, I'm asking you actually to let me know which ones you think are wrong. And by telling me which of these sentences are wrong, we automatically will know which ones you think are right. So, A, we have been taught well last week. B, we will be taught well this morning. C, I think we have been taught well tomorrow. And D, we have been taught well this past month. And E, we will be taught well over the coming weeks. Alida has says for me the only correct ones. Would have to say the only correct ones are D and E. The only correct ones are D and E. Yeah, for me the only correct ones. The only correct ones. So we're going to include ones, and we're going to put the S on ones, and that's referring to A and E in your case. But let's see if other people come in with similar answers. Like I said, I mean, time markers, they're good to know. They're not difficult to learn, but they can sometimes be, if you haven't been taught, you might not necessarily expect to get it right if you just try to guess. I think that sometimes can be a little bit difficult. By the way, guys, good luck for those of you who at the moment are having lessons at AM Language. Currently, I hope you're enjoying your lessons at the moment, even though they're online. But hopefully, you are still enjoying them. So, Alida, let me know, guys. Do any of you agree with Alida on this one? Oh, dearie me. I think my seating position is all wrong at the moment. A lot of what we call neck strain. I'm not. My setup, I think, isn't very good. I'm always looking down, and therefore that creates a lot of pain. I think I need to change the way I sit. Sit really can be a little bit difficult. I think, especially the head, the neck. Okay, guys, I'll give you just 20 more seconds to let me know if you agree with the leader. If not, then I will just let you know what the answers are. But time markers, they're not. How difficult are they? I don't think they're super difficult. The Indiana says for me, only E is correct. Okay, well, we'll see if you guys are correct. So let's see what the actual answer is. So we've got answers. Okay, A. So which of these sentences are wrong? A. We have been taught well last week. Yeah, A is definitely wrong. We cannot say we have been taught well last week. What is it again, actually? Hey, isn't it? We have been taught well last week. Yeah, no, this doesn't make sense. We're trying to mix a present perfect and a future in one go, and then putting in last week. No. Doesn't work. So that's not right. B, we will be taught well this morning. That's correct. C, I think we have been taught well tomorrow. Again, so B is right. C is wrong. Definitely wrong. So from next, so B, let's just remind ourselves. We will be taught well. Oh, wait a minute. No, we will be taught well this morning. No, that's wrong as well. Sorry, I misread B. We will be taught well this morning. No, we will be taught well. We don't need this morning in this case. So B is wrong as well. C is wrong. We have been taught well this. Okay, C. I think we have been taught well tomorrow. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. D. We have been taught well this past month. Yeah, D is correct. You can say we have been taught well this past month. That makes sense. Okay, That's actually referring to a past to the present, actually, if you're still in the same month. E, we will be taught well over the coming weeks. E, yes, correct. So I suggest make a note of the ones that you got wrong there. Okay, so let's finally go with this one over here. Oh dear, this is a little bit painful. I'm going to have to do some stretches after this. So, what do you guys think about this one? Dina asks, in the case, what's the difference between A and D? Okay, let's have a little look. A, we have been taught well last week. This is a present perfect. I can't use a past time marker with a present perfect. I cannot do it. And last week is a past time marker. D, we have been taught well this past month. This is a bit strange, and I can see why. So the strange thing is, if I go with last week, this is a clear on past. This refers to a moment in the past. Actually, let me explain this even better. Okay, last week as a time marker is specific to the past. It is in no way related to the present. However, if we look at D, we have been taught, well, this past month, this past month, this is still present because we are still in this month, the same month. So that's the big difference. It starts off with this and month. This means we are still in the same month. And I would use this if we're talking about April. That's why I can say this past month with the present perfect. The present perfect talks about an action that started in the past and is relevant to the present. Because it's relevant to the present, I can say this past month because we are still in the same month. Therefore, it's present. But to go with last week, well, I'm now in a different week. So I have to leave that purely for the past. Simple. I was there last week. I can't change this to a present perfect. It's not going to work. But that's a really good question, actually. Okay, let's see. Let's see about this one over here, actually. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to do some very important stretches after this because this is no good. I have hurt myself a little bit. So let's look at final task 1. Let's see how you guys do with this. I'm going to give you the possibilities. One, 2, and 3. What are your options? Okay, so those are your options. Let me know which ones you think are the correct options in order to complete the sentences 1, 2, and 3. You've got the options: A, from last week; B, from next term; C, over the past; D, from the past; E, last week; and F, from next week. Alida said 1 goes with B, from next term. 2 is C. We have learned a lot over the past month. And you're saying 3 is E, and last week was especially hard. Well, if you agree with the leader, let me know. You can just say, I agree with the leader. But if you have different answers, let me know in the live chat section. If you disagree with her, tell me. Tell me that you disagree with her if you do. And this will then bring us to the end of today's lesson. Don't forget, guys, that tomorrow we have another live lesson. And tomorrow we are looking at the nuclear family and society, zero and first conditionals as well. So an interesting topic, actually. Leondina says 1 is F, 2 is C, 3 is E. Okay, so we just got a different answer about 1. You're saying 1 goes with F. So from next week, we will develop our skills. Okay, we'll see. I'm going to give you guys just 30 more seconds, and then I will let you know the answers. Or, there could be 2 correct answers in some cases. Oh, my. I will definitely have to do some exercise and stretching today. This is no good. Alida says, I think 1 can go with B or F. Okay, let's see if you are correct. Answers: 1. From next term, we will, yes. From next week, yes. And thank you. Need a messenger, Richard. Ha ha. Oh, a massage, Richard. Yes. Yes, I do need a massage, actually, come to think of it. It's like the seating positions, actually. I need to improve my seating position. 2 something month. You both of you guys went for C. Yep, that's correct. We're going to have to go with C. We have learned a lot over the past month, and finally 3. Both of you went for E, and last week was especially hard. Yeah, well done, guys. Excellent. So, well done, guys. That's really good, and that's it. Uh, I mean, look, when learning time markers, once you've learned them, once you know what you can't do, they become relatively easy. The trick is to drill. Speak, write, repeat. That's the best way to do it, really. And thank you very much for your participation today. Alida, Leondina, and Arena F. Thank you for your contribution to the live chat. As always, guys, you make the lessons possible. And if you want feedback, join in on the live chat section. And as always, if you haven't participated in the live chat, you can feel free to do so in the comment section after the video. Alida says, thanks, Richard. Have a nice day. You too, Alida. Thank you very much for joining. I'll be back tomorrow, guys, with at the same time with a different lesson. So tomorrow we're going to look at the nuclear family and society. I'm going to look at zero and first conditionals. Should be an interesting lesson. Arena F, you're welcome. Alida, you too. And Leondina, you too as well. See you tomorrow. Take care, everybody, and bye for now.